Hello and welcome to another episode of John Secador show that happens sometimes. Uh, Great, now I can't see. I have to read from a script this time, so maybe I should leave him on. But the reflecting is just, it's hard to watch this because nothing interesting happens except I sit surrounded by horror stuff and talk. But today we're going to talk about something I always purposely skip. I never touch. I don't make my opinions on it like hidden, but I never ever really talk about it until now. And I wrote this out because I need to be clear, extremely clear. Now, if you've gotten this far, you're probably just waiting for me to be an asshole, right? I mean, you're either not watching this at all because of the title and because you know me, so you're putting two and two together and jumping to conclusions, which is not the right thing to do, or you're just waiting for me to say something just shitty and stereotypical and common. But I'm not going to do that. I'm going to mesh together some ideas and we're going to see what pops out. So I have to go away to West Virginia for 4 days, but and my shows have been really slow anyway lately. I haven't even gotten that many on YouTube. Mostly been putting them on Facebook, but don't worry, I'll miss all of you. I'm sure you won't miss me after I read this to you, though, so be prepared. I promise I'm not gonna bash this guy. Really, I'm not. I'm really not. I am gonna say some things that I don't know that anybody else has said, though, so. And please, I'm sorry about the reflecting in my glasses. I can't read without them. Okay. Before you fill yourself with predetermined rage, I want you to stop for a second. I want you to hear this one sentence and understand that I'm not here to pile on another human being. We're all human. That includes the person in this discussion that we are going to center around. But weirdly enough, we're not really going to spend as much time on him as you would think. This is more a dive into you and me and everyone. I have to scroll down too. Maybe I'll cut that, maybe I won't. Who are you as a person? What events in your life put you in a position that you're currently in when it comes to like values and ethics? I'm not asking you to defend them. I just want to explore in your head how you came to the decisions about how you feel about things. I kind of have an idea about myself. I think a lot of you are probably unsure, but I'm going to give you an idea of what I'm talking about here. At some point, probably in my late teens, I was a little upset with life in general, as everybody is. And I was told by everyone how awful things were and how better they used to be. And how the president, well, he was the cause of all this shit. And I allowed myself to believe that because I was an idiot teenager. People my age were going to Iraq for literally no reason. They were going to defend our freedom from people who weren't trying to take it. And they were dying. As human beings who were dying for us, I thought it was unfair and rotten that they were dying for no real reason. The reason was made up. It was rhetoric. It was empty rhetoric. And so I blamed the president just like everybody else, who happened to be a Republican. So I hated Republicans. Then a Democrat came along and played my distorted mind like a fiddle. He used more empty rhetoric. Hope, change. I mean, who doesn't want that? And I'm telling you, if you voted for our current president, you can't say that you didn't want it because he promised both of those things just using different words. We all want things to get better. We're all in some sort of personal pain or longing or just basic loneliness. And the place that we turn to fill the void, the TV, keeps telling us that the pain stems from the president. Just like the last one. And the last one, and probably the last one, I can't remember. I was way too little for that. Unlike previous elections, this one felt personal to people. Weirdly enough, though, people were afraid to admit they wanted to vote for the current president until after he won. And I get it. The other side was slamming them for being, degenerate racists. There was the thought, I suppose, that if their candidate lost, no one would know they voted for him, but he won. And now it was okay to admit it to people. Loudly. And braggadociously. Is that a word? I wrote it in here. I don't know why I did. But in doing so, it created a large problem in which everyone knew, without question, who put this man in charge. Every mistake, every embarrassment, every contradiction would be cast back to the people who put him there. So there's only one real course of action. That's to defend him at all turns, at all cost, against all reason. Does every human who voted for him really believe the way he acts is acceptable for his position? I mean, this is a job that he has. Is he performing the job well? I mean, he slams people for doing their job. He says he's going to drain the swamp when he just fills it up more. I mean, I can't reasonably believe a rational person would think this is okay. Scroll, scroll, scroll. But if you listen to the voters, they do think it's okay. If you're someone who voted for him, you rationalize things. You make excuses for things. You compare his biggest faults to Obama. Because obviously, if you don't like this guy, you love the other one. And it's not in defense of the president. That's just it. It's in defense of you. And I get it. I sympathize. Because I've covered for people in my life too that cause others pain. Everyone does it. Attaching yourself to someone so venomous in public means you need to sink with the ship. You need to attack those who criticize what's obviously wrong for wanting to hurt you. I get it. But I don't condone it. And the thing is, right now, right as I'm saying this, your mind for a second said, yeah, that's true. But immediately tried to justify that I'm full of shit. It's probably because I'm a Democrat. And all Democrats want to do is burn things and get their way and whine and vote for murderers and turn every child into a mishmash gender. All I care about is identity politics and socialism. Socialism. That dirty, dangerous 1960s word where Stalin is going to come to your house and take your guns and kill you so that everyone can get a little and he can get a lot. Come on. That's nonsense. That's silly. Listen how we talk to each other, okay? We don't. Right now, I'm just speaking to you. If you were in here, you'd wait for me to finish and speak to me. We talk past each other. Here's an example. I want children to have better education, to prepare themselves for the future, and I think that should be the most important thing. A retort might be, well, how are we going to pay for that? Socialism? No, that's not how we're going to pay for that. We're going to pay for that the same way we pay for everything else. That's less important than the kids we selfishly brought into this world out of our ego, or maybe wanting to get laid and not caring about the future, I don't know. How do we take care of sick people? Socialism? No, we pay for it the same way we pay for other things. Look, if you have a question about money we spend with our tax money, refer to any video that I did on the subject. I just read from the chart from the tax people. If you want the short end of it, it's basically we spend an awful lot of money on market subsidies and, what's the other thing? Oh, defense and security. I mean a lot. And we ignore that. We know it, we ignore it. We know McDonald's is shitty for us, we ignore it. We know our kids are being set up to fail, we ignore it. You know what no one ever asks? How do we pay for missiles? Socialism? Look, I want to hear from you. I want to know what he does to make your life better. What he's directly done to make your life better. I can say this right now. Our last president did nothing to make my life better. Here's the thing. For a while, when I found out he killed all those people with drones, I was in denial and I kept making up ideas of why, he must have had a reason to kill all these children and people at funerals and all this. He didn't. It was fucked up. And I can say that because I didn't do it. I didn't want him to go bomb a bunch of children. I put him there, and he sucked at what he did. And that's the thing. You didn't fail at this job because he failed at this job. You can present me with evidence that says our economy's better. I can present you with evidence that says it's not. We can smack each other with evidence all day, and in the end, nothing changes, okay? What concerns me about this is that he's not self-aware. If he is, that's terrifying because he knows he's helping people center their anger and turn it against their neighbors while ignoring rational thought. But I don't believe he does. I believe he's a human being who's simply continuing to do what works and not recognizing why it works. It works because we're afraid to be wrong, and it works because there are teams here and there's no unity whatsoever. We need unity. I'm sorry I was yelling. People were in the background making noise when I told them I was going to be down here. But I am not a 60s man, so I'm not going to complain about it. Anyway, We need unity. We need to care about others. If we love our country as much as we claim we do, we need to care about the people who are in the goddamn country and the people who are trying to come here because their lives are literally shit. And accept the thing that remains, similar in both parties, in all races, in all nations, it's blood, hearts, lungs, eyes, ears, skeletons, skin. We're all made of the same fucking stardust. And we're better off working together than defending ourselves in isolation when it's simply not necessary. When someone you root for fucks up, accept it. Admit it. Most importantly, though, remember, you didn't fuck up. They did.